Alright guys, welcome back to another classic tune. Today we're going to learn the main parts and the lead guitar theme to the Scorpions' Make It Real from 1980. Can you believe it? 45 years ago. And this was the Animal Magnetism album. Great album for sure. And this is a song that's so catchy and so well written and really simple at its core. We're going to look at the main intro and verse riffs to that, as well as the lead guitar part. I'll show you guys all that stuff. So we'll get to that in just a sec. If you are looking for the tab in the Guitar Pro for this lesson, head on over to Patreon down here in the link. Patreon.com/NickLaytonGuitar. There's also a backing track with just the rhythm, drums, and bass, so you can practice playing that sweet lead over the top of that. It's really it's a lot of fun, and it's really melodic and a nice workout for your bending chops. All right, so let's get to it right away. Here's in the key of D minor, which is of course the saddest of all keys. I've used that joke so many times. I remember doing a guitar clinic probably 10 years ago, and I tried that joke. Nobody got it. I mean, I don't know why, but it must have been a young crowd. Of course, it's the Spinal Tap reference. And I just had to do it, so sorry. Anyway, I hear they're coming out with a Spinal Tap Part 2 pretty soon. I gotta see that. It better be at least somewhat funny, or else it's just gonna be a big disappointment, because the first one is over the top classic. Yeah, so let's work on the rhythm part first. Okay, so the intro to this, kind of unusual. It's a D minor chord. I'm playing it here, like that, and you could play it like this. And probably most likely that's how the Scorps are doing it, but it's the same sound basically, and I like this chord shape. And so what I'm doing is part of a D minor chord. It's, in fact, if you played like that, stretch those babies over. If you had that note in there, that's the D note. I'm just playing the F, A, and D on the top part of it. And I'm just going, and then open G, open D and G string. It's a G chord. And then C, and then there's on the original recording, there's this little on a tab. I didn't really notate that. It's just kind of, kind of holding the C there, but it's there if you want to do a little added rhythmic stuff. Okay, so it's just the D minor, G, C. Now, if you played it here, I'm just playing a full D minor bar chord at the 5th fret on the A string, 7D, 7G, 6B, 5, high E, and just going. And it's a pretty full sound, but maybe it's a little muddy or a little thick. Anyways, your choice on that. I think this sounds just as good. Okay, so before we go on to the verse, let's talk about the lead part, because the lead part comes in over that. The first time it has a little pickup, which means it goes. Basically those notes. Basically that. On every other chorus, which is this is the chorus riff. On every other chorus, The lead part just starts with this. So it skips this. But I love that little intro there. So this comes in. You have to listen to the recording there, but it comes in on bar 3. So okay. So what I'm doing, I'm sliding right into 12 on the D string, then 9-10 G. We're playing right out of the D minor scale here. So that's probably like the saddest of all scales too, right? So it's 12D, 9-10 G, and then hammer pull from 9 to 10 back to 9, 12-10 D. So, and then bend up on 12 G a whole step. Lower it, release it, pull off to 10, and then 12 again. So you get this. Lots of vibrato, lots of bending, and then so here we have 10th fret, high E, and then 13, pull off to 10 on the B. Bend up 12 on the G, whole step. Lower it, pull off to 10. Then repeat 12 on the G string, and then 10 on the G string. So here's what we have so far. Then we're going to go to the 13th fret on the B. So you're going to bend this, whole step, pick it at the top, lower it, pull off to 10, and then back to 13. Then we're going to slide into 15 on the B. And kind of that same idea as before to begin with, but an octave higher. So 15 on the B, 12, 13, then 12, 13, 12, hammer pull, 15, 13 on the B, and then bend up on 15 high E, lower it, pull off to 13 and back to 15 in the high E. So then the last little bit is and that's just 20 in the high E, 17 high E, 20B, pull full step bend, then release and pull off to 18, then back to 20, back to 18 on the B, and then 20 on the high E, and then bend it again, pull off to 17, and then rebend 20. Whoops. Okay, and that's the whole lead. Now here it is, a little bit slower. All right. So just make sure when you're working on that, it's a great little bending exercise if you want to use it as that. That requires that you bend to pitch. So anything that's flat or sharp is going to sound off. That's why playing along with the backing track can help, because you'll really be able to hear, hopefully, that you're right on the money or you're off track a little bit. All right. So again, make sure and head over to Patreon if you're interested in the backing track to play over that. All right. So continuing on with the rhythm now, there's just basically one more part to talk about here. I'm just covering the main riffs of the tune. Is the verse. It's just very simple. It's a D5. It's all power chords. D5, B flat, F, C the first time, and then D5, B flat, F to G. Okay, so it'd be like this. You notice I'm muting and I'm using all downstrokes here. At this point, it picks up a little bit. A little bit more of the accenting. And then, whoops, heading into the chorus. Or if you want to play the G here. Then you're back to that riff with the chorus and the lead part over the top. That's it, guys. Really simple song, but great tune, right? Classic, and so much fun to play. So give this one a try. I think you guys will dig it. Also, lots of new stuff coming on the channel. I'm getting ready to dive in head first to a whole bunch of cool things. I'm working a little bit on the visuals here. I got some lighting I'm going to experiment with. Right now I've just kind of got the curtain open with some sunlight in here, but put a little backdrop back there and a little tapestry of some sort, and see if we can get this thing popping. I'm also going to experiment with a little bit more, at least on some videos, where I'm using a second camera for maybe a little bit more up close stuff. And I've got some guitar courses coming on the coming very soon, working on those now, and they'll be the first one's going to be a kind of an 80s metal guitar 101 for you guys who are newer players or less experienced and want to just make sure you got the basics instead of, you know, all this advanced stuff that can, you know, with this style of music, there's a lot of advanced playing and a lot of solos and licks, and choruses that are based around this stuff tend to be pretty difficult. So, and I've put some of those out myself, and I think they have value. But I think even more so, it's good to have a good foundation to this stuff. Everything from, you know, how to choose your equipment and amp sounds and pickups, the right guitars to have for this style, you know, to just the basics of power chords and how to finger those, and dyads and basic rhythms, basic scales that you need, and you know, basic technique just to play some of this stuff, and then I'll build on that and have a little bit more of a bridge between the beginner 10. It's not really a beginner, but kind of just the basics, into more of an intermediate type of lesson, and maybe some technique stuff in there too to help get from one side to the other. So I'll be letting you guys know about those courses, but also there'll be tons of content here free on YouTube. riffs and solos. I'm also going to do a new session called Guitar School, and I'll do some videos on various topics like scales and theory and things like that. See what you guys think about that. I'll, of course, also on Patreon, if you want to support what I do here and enable that I can keep doing these videos over on Patreon. We've got a growing community over there that I do, put the tab in the Guitar Pro files in backing tracks over there, and also some exclusive things, and more of that will be coming, as well as some perks like discounts on all courses and some freebies and things like that too. So make sure to go and check that out if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. Rock on.